What does SCAR do for realtors in the community?
We are a professional trade organization. It is almost like a chamber of commerce, right? So our professionals belong to us, and we own and operate the multiple listing service, and then we provide advocacy efforts.
Is there a fear within like the realtor associations of Zillow and some of that, and the way that they're advertising, houses and stuff?
I think our members in our industry is very resilient, and I think they pivot, and we just want to do, at the end of the day, the best thing for our members, the realtors, and what's their job is to secure the American dream of homeownership, right? So all that we can do is just make sure that they have the right tools, products, and services to ensure that that transaction happens and that they're there at the table, making sure that happens, that the realtor remains in the transaction. Even those tech companies or anything like that still think that the realtor is very important in the transaction. I think people still want to work with people.
Welcome to the Studio 321 podcast, powered by Brightway, the Steve Trout Agency. We're sitting down with real estate pros, insurance nerds, mortgage masterminds, and local legends who are making moves on the Space Coast. Hosted by the best insurance crew in the 321. At Studio 321, it's all about community, real connections, and sharing a few laughs along the way. Strap in, let's launch into today's episode. Our guest today is Lindsey Ruschak. She walked into the Space Coast Association of Realtors in 2011 as the education director, and after 12 years of showing up, leading, and growing with the organization, she earned the CEO seat in 2023. And on top of being CEO of SCAR, she sits on the executive board of the Economic Development Commission and is a passionate advocate for the Brevard children in need, supporting housing-sensitive kids right here on the Space Coast. She lives by one motto: show up every day to serve something bigger than yourself. Lindsey, welcome to the studio.
Woo! Wow, I love that.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Well, finally.
I know, you guys are chasing me down.
We know you're busy.
Lindsey was one of the hardest people that we knew for sure we wanted Lindsey on, and we really had to work for it. She made us work for it.
She did.
She was definitely playing hard to get.
She was good at saying no. Fastest way to know.
Right.
Ask her.
She tried to ghost us a couple times, hoping we would go away. We didn't.
Then I see you in the office. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Another event where I have to turn them down.
No. Every time I see you, I never even said, you're the one that brought it up. You were like scared. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
I'm like, I know I owe them a response. It's a yes. It's just finding the time.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
So walk us through the journey. How did you get into the real estate industry, and then like what led you to where you're at today?
Yeah, so I started with the association in 2011. It was February. So part of my background was my mom had a family business. She fit and dispensed hearing aids, but she owned her business. So we had 5 offices between Volusia and Brevard. And around 2010, we closed we were paring down the offices. So we had 3 in Brevard. We had already sunsetted the 2 in Volusia. And she was in one senior place, and then she was also in Merritt Island. And at that time, it was when the Space Center was kind of kicking down and going away with the funding from the Obama administration. So we closed that office, and I was like, well, what am I going to do? So live life on fun employment for a little bit.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Right?
That sounds fun.
So it was back in the day.
Yeah.
And so did that, and then I saw an opening at the association, and it was for a bookkeeping position. So with my experience with what I was doing in my family business, I was doing payroll, bookkeeping, marketing, and all of like office management kind of stuff. And I was like, well, let me go apply for this. And as I was sitting down with our prior CEO, Leah, for the interview, and she was like, you know what? She goes, we have an opening. Our education director, Maureen Finch, she had been there a very long time. She just gave her notice that she's going to retire. And she goes, I think you'd be the perfect fit for this job. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, all right. And she goes, well,
Were you more excited than that?
It was, yeah. Well, I was going through the motions of the interview process, right? So we're talking, we're just talking, getting to know each other.
Before you got the education job?
Yeah, so that was, before. So I applied for the bookkeeping position, and then we were talking through it, and that was when she was like, I just had an opening today. She just gave notice of retirement. So go back home. It's probably like a couple days later, she sends an email to the people who did not get the position for bookkeeping, right? And it was like, sorry, the position's been filled, whatever. And I'm like, well, dang, that stinks. And then I get a phone call and it was like, hey, you got offered, would you like to take the education director position? And I'm like, that was a high and a low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I did the education director position, which was amazing, honestly. So I was going to school at the time at UCF and, well, Brevard Community College. I was going to say Beer Can College because, university.
People call that on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just like all of us, we started at the bottom.
Yeah.
Started at
great.
the community college. And then I was going into school for teaching. And I was like, this kind of aligns with what we were doing. But it was more so the better path for me because it was lining up the educators for the adult students because at that point in time I was going to go to school for kindergarten teaching and I was like, this
That's
is
a
not,
different world.
this is not it for me.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so then I went into that world and then 2011, so then around 2012, if our members are around during that time frame, we were doing a shakeup with switching out MLS vendors. So 2012, 2013.
I remember that was a big deal.
So big deal in our county. So we had two associations at that time, and we always had a same MLS system, and we shared rules and we shared data together. So it was really a good continuity for our area. And again, we had amazing leaders and we had amazing leadership with Leah. So we were data sharing within an MLS in our county before data shares were like popular, right?
Yeah.
So we're always very forward thinking, especially with our leaders and our members. Nice. And so at that time when that happened, and then the merger talks happened, right? And merger was successful, and we combined the two staffs, and then Leah's like, what's the path you want to go down? Like, is this, and during that time, there was a lot of meetings being scheduled, a lot of facilitation that I was doing, and I was like, you know what? I could do this. This is what I want to do. I want to be the CEO for the organization.
Wow.
Whether it's this, I would hope it would be this organization, because I knew eventually she was going to have to retire. When she did finally retire, it was at 45 years. So like that was a long tenure
She
for
was
her.
with Scar for 45
She was with
years?
Scar for 45 years, and she was
Wow.
with Mar for 50 years prior to that, or 5 years, I'm sorry, so 50 in total cumulative.
That's
Unbelievable.
insane.
Yeah, so like I saw her, she's an amazing mentor, right? And I was like, this is what I want to do. It's like whether it was for this association or not, this is like the path I want to go down. So I started rounding myself within the association and just kind of touching each department, right? Like I was learning, I got certified in professional standards, which is the ethics administration process. Heavy into the MLS, a little bit in government affairs. I already did education, membership, so kind of hitting all those pillars of what entails the association. So,
Let's touch on Leah a little bit. Like she was a big part of your just upbringing, I guess, in
she
the
really was.
association.
Yeah, because when I started, 2011, I don't even know how old I was at that time. How old were you? So you just turned 40.
I just turned 40, so was that?
My brain doesn't work after 40.
Yeah, so that's 15 years ago. I would have been 25.
Yeah, so I was 25 when I started with the association. So I was going to say it was probably around 28 time frame when I was when we were going through the mergers and all those things. And I was like, you know what, this is a good path. So Leah really poured into me, and I think she poured into the staff as well. And it doesn't happen alone. Like we have a massive organization, and you cannot do it without the team. Like my staff management team really back at the association is what makes it go in. So just making sure you pour into them. But I think also when you see something in somebody and bringing them up with you, she was really good at that.
That's awesome.
So.
There's not a lot of turnover in SCAR either.
No, we don't.
Everybody's been there forever.
Yeah, we have a pretty long tenure employment. So
that's right.
when we merged with the two associations, Kathy, our education director right now, had already been doing it for so long. And that's when Leah was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, no, Kathy can do it. Like she does an amazing, she runs a great program. So
that's a good point, Jay. When you go to SCAR, it's a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As long
nice.
as I've been in here.
Yeah, that's awesome. It speaks volumes about the culture and what you guys are doing too.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, no turnover means you're doing a great job. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah. Finding new employees is hard too.
You don't have to tell us.
Right.
So are you the youngest CEO of an association like that?
I am not. I believe it is, but I don't know at this point. But Ashton up in New Smyrna, so we have a really good relationship with within the state of Florida. We have a great relationship with our state and then all our locals. And Ashton, I believe, is the youngest.
Okay.
Well, it was the youngest at the time.
I was hoping we were going to crown you
I
the
know,
youngest.
right? I was hoping so too.
What was the other association that you guys merged with?
Melbourne Area Association of Realtors, so MAR.
Gosh, I
I
remember
don't even
back.
remember that.
I remember that, and I just remember there being so much infighting going on at the time, and there was a lot of people didn't want it to happen, and it's kind of funny looking back at it now because now I think it was the best thing that ever happened.
The best thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
They had tried many times before and it didn't work. And I think with mergers, it really takes getting the right people at the table to have those hard conversations and realize this is for the betterment of the organization, for the members, and for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if people realize this, though. We also had an association up in Titusville. So back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, we had Titusville, Space Coast, and Melbourne. So I think it was Titusville or Spaceport, and then we were Cape Kennedy Board. At Space Coast was Cape Kennedy Board, and then the Melbourne area.
Yeah.
So just over the years, just mergers.
It just really makes sense to have one
It does.
in this community.
It does.
County,
One of the biggest impact statements we've had was with the EDC, the Space Coast EDC, is the CEO, Linda Weatherman. She made a comment and was like, this has really unified your guys as an organization and really unified your voice and impact within the community. And I think that's something that our members should be really proud of.
And probably as in the grand scheme of things, when you go to Tallahassee,
Yes.
the voice is a lot more powerful instead of it being split into three
disparate,
or
right?
two. It's one big voice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also feel like, outside looking in, I know I know enough to be dangerous, but I feel like even from like an RPAC standpoint and like the power that the Space Coast Association has in Florida is pretty strong.
Yeah, that unified voice really matters, especially when you're on the Hill advocating for private property rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the other associations kind of look to you guys and going, what are you guys doing, right? I mean, it looks like that.
I mean, they probably do. I think we all kind of like, that's one of the things that is very important to me is the collaboration between all of our local associations and just leaning to each other because nobody can go it alone. Like if you're on an island, that's got to be a sad journey to be on. So collaborating with your peers, your industry peers, and just seeing what they're doing, seeing if you can mimic, share resources, what can we do to also share that same voice, kick it across the finish line, because if we're experiencing something here, chances are somebody also is experiencing it elsewhere. Our neighbors to the north in New Smyrna, our neighbors to the south in Indian River and beaches. So
that's true across all business too, right? Like even here at Brightway, like we have an awesome community here at Brightway. There's probably 200 plus offices in Florida, and we really do collaborate a lot on different things.
Right.
And
Day to day too.
Yeah, if we're having an issue, like you said, somebody else is having that same issue, and hey, let's get together and solve it.
Right. It can't do it in a silo because you have to have that brain share, that brain power to kind of make it go and work.
No, absolutely.
And not to go backwards here, for anybody watching or listening, can you just Cliff's notes, like what does SCAR do for realtors in the community?
Yeah, so we are a professional trade organization. If you're not in the real estate industry, which I know you guys are obviously partners of ours, it is almost like a chamber of commerce, right? So our professionals belong to us, and we own and operate the multiple listing service, and then we provide advocacy efforts, so protecting private property rights. We have a robust education program, and a big piece of what we do is community engagement, and making sure that our voice is heard and that people realize that realtors do more than just facilitate transactions, that they're always neighbors first.
Awesome.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love what you guys do for the business partners too. I mean, it's been a really great platform for us from a business standpoint. I mean, it's just such a good way for us to get in front of realtors, even like the mortgage brokers. For us, it's been a really great community for us to be involved in from a business standpoint. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
I love that because you guys are really great industry partners for us and always show up. And we have really great ones, right? And then you have the ones that kind of, it's like a chamber. I feel like if it's any organization you belong to, you get what you put out of it. It's even in your job, you get what you put into it, right?
Yeah.
If you show up, if you network and you do those things, I think it's going to pay off in the long run.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It gave us a real good platform to help us grow our business.
I love to hear that.
It really did. Like I would say if I had to put like all our marketing efforts and everything we've ever done, the best thing we ever did was become a business partner.
I love that. And
like it's our number one.
Shameless plug, but for $190 a year with access to 5,000 realtors, I mean, come on.
It's a no-brainer.
Right?
It
Where
really
else?
is a
Right.
no-brainer.
And that's why I say you get what you put into it. You show up to the meetings, you sponsor the classes, you just go to the events and network. How do you not win?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
for $190 a year, you're getting notifications when I can put my name out there in front of the people that are sending you business.
So many opportunities.
Yeah, so many opportunities.
Yeah.
And the business partner committee has just done a really good job getting better and better every year.
Yeah.
And so like one of the coolest things that you guys have come up with recently was the trade show, the business partner trade show.
Yeah, that one's
what
good.
an amazing event that has become.
So back in, I don't know if you recall this because I don't know, were you with Brightway then? You were.
I
You were coming into the
started coming
association a
around
little
SCAR probably in like 2012.
Okay, so we were doing a smaller version of that. So the business partners were buying trade show tables, and in Merritt Island, it was upstairs,
Yeah,
and we'd
I
line like
vaguely- yep, I
one
remember
table
that a little
around
bit.
it. So I remember, I want to say it was like 2023 when I first started. Maybe, I think that's the first year we did it, right? Maybe 24, we had the idea in 23. And I was like, this is what we need to offer. The chair at the time were like talking about it, and they did an amazing job putting that together and getting back to the basics of just providing organic networking experiences for both you guys to connect with realtors, to realtors to connect with each other, and not always coming and getting hit with, don't get me wrong, your investment in RPAC is very important. We have the 501c3, the Space Coast Association of Realtors Foundation. Investing or contributing and donating to that is very important, but also just providing that environment for members to walk in and not get hit at the pocketbook and just say, get to know your members, get to know your other people who help make
Absolutely.
these transactions better and smoother.
And it's a huge value add to the realtors
Right.
too, because they're coming through there. A lot of times, all these vendors that are there, they're going to need at some point in their transaction.
Correct.
Inspectors.
And we're supporting you. Why not
Yeah.
support us?
And you
right?
want
And
more
create
than
that
one.
relationship.
You want one more than one in your directory to kind
Absolutely.
of click from and say, this is what I got.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
I had to come to that one this year. I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's such a
make it
fun
last
event.
year.
Like honestly, you guys are so like the business partners are so creative in their booths and what they do.
Oh, you guys probably have to reel some in. I would.
Yeah. No. How do we get to yes?
Yeah, exactly.
No. Some of them. I mean, I think there was like a casino table. There was a
that was,
there was like a
Nikki
circus.
Jensen.
So,
Yeah, they did
With
that
Prestige,
one.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, a circus one. I think
A
you guys
lemonade
did
stand, I
lemon
think. Yeah, lemonade.
some really
Did
cool
we
ones.
have anything cool like that?
No, but I'm like requesting if I can get more to the front of the line. I can do something a little special.
What do you mean front of the line?
Maybe in the corner.
Right?
That
Need
was
a
me
little more
last year.
space.
Nobody puts Angela in the corner.
That's right.
Nobody.
She doesn't stay there. She gets out. She
Nobody.
works a room.
Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah, no, I would just leave the table and just start walking around,
Yeah,
working
just
the room.
work the room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in the table. You guys can work the room.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
People,
good at that.
Yeah, the first year we did it, I think we did Irish coffees and Bloody Marys and mimosas.
Yeah, there was like espresso martinis. maybe?
Yeah. Well, and I think one of them. So then,
Did they cut that off?
Well, no. So I think what happened was
Almost have to.
the first. Well, yeah.
Have
The
you
first
been to an
year,
event before?
right? The first year we did it, we were doing the Irish coffees and everything. I think somebody brought espressos, and then the next year it was like people just kept bringing more and more at their table. And so then we were like, well, why? I think the business partner planning committee was like, why do we need to offer the alcohol if the vendors are going to
Bring
do
it,
it?
yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it
true.
makes sense.
yeah. So let people stay and network more at the tables than having them at the cocktail table
Yeah.
where the food is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're very intentional about planning it, making sure food is like not kind of like walkable food, right? And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that there's not a lot outside the room that people are forced in the room. So, and how blessed are we to have like that amazing space that we don't have to go to a hotel to do it. We are
Yeah.
like
True.
the members did a great job in building that building.
Oh my
and
gosh,
That
really,
was probably
and
the best
really,
investment
yeah.
you could have done. Yeah.
And that again goes back to the unification of Brevard. Like that wouldn't be here today without that unification. So
A lot of those details probably go missed.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is a great building. This is awesome for us.
Right.
But it's like what took to get into there, the ideas behind
Yeah.
all that. Is
Yeah.
And I
really
didn't
cool.
even know this, but I just found out that other people outside of the association, randomly can just rent out
Oh,
the
yeah,
rooms.
yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. So even in Merritt Island and Melbourne, when they had
So we can have our next party there.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
used to do the weddings and marry other receptions upstairs, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Big
lot
wedding
of them.
venue. Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So
It's a good space for it.
it
I
is.
wish I would have known. At a graduation party. I was
Right?
Does the
There you go.
association still own that building in Merritt Island?
No, so we sold that building to Island Animal Hospital.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So Island Animal Hospital bought that one, and then Renaissance Catering bought the Melbourne building.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I think you guys coming together as one organization, like from outside looking in, has been probably the best thing to happen to the
It was
association.
beneficial
for,
for the members, and I think it was beneficial for the business partners too, because you guys were disjointed and joining a couple
Correct.
organizations, and it just really unified
No,
the county
absolutely.
and the voice. So
And I love that the events are able to be in one place.
Yeah.
You know where it is. You know where
Yeah.
you're going. It's just easy to plan it all, right?
We're
For
getting
you guys,
back-
it's got to be.
it's
super-
much easier,
yeah.
right? Logistically, you're not having classes in both locations, members showing up for committee meetings in both, like getting confused which way it
Yeah.
is. We are doing a different job now of like, and the business partners are doing this as well, of like kind of trying to meet our members where we are, because we are Long County, right? So we are trying to spread some of our socials out and some networking experiences up to the north end of the county and the south end of the county, as much as we love everybody coming to us, and then hitting beachside too, of just making sure that,
I like the one, we did the one at that restaurant, steak restaurant, Titusville.
Shiloh's.
That was a good turnout.
Yeah.
They closed that down.
Yeah.
No, I got bought.
Yeah,
Did somebody else? Somebody.
It's gonna be Dockside Grill or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
then
right.
we did
Yeah, I
that
did see the
one
news on that.
in Palm Bay.
Yeah.
At
Did the Harley Davidson place? Yeah.
Yeah, you know that restaurant that's up by Max Brewer going to play Lindo?
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
They own that. Pier
it's under
or
the
something?
Pier 1 or Pier 21
Something
or
like
something.
that.
Yeah.
They bought
Okay,
Dockside,
that's
so they
right.
have two
I remember
locations.
reading about that.
I've never been to the pier, but that Dockside place should be nice now.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, to your point, that is actually, I mean, I love those ideas just because like you're meeting people that don't get the chance to come out all the way to, Sun Riviera area, and it's, so you're seeing new faces, opportunity to connect with, those realtors over there.
And just getting reach for them and just making sure that they know we're here to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is your favorite event the SCAR does?
I always love, so the Business Partner Expo, I love because I do think it's just an organic networking experience, and that room is packed year over year. So that is amazing. So for business partners, I think that one's amazing. Our installation and then our annual BCIN fundraising gala. Yeah. So I love to call that, because our members love it. It's like Realtor Prom and Realtor Homecoming, right? Like you get the gamut. The members love dressing up. They get to network with each other, see each other. So those ones are good. We do quite a bit of events. So
I love the Children's in Need one.
Yeah. We're getting ready to host for the Realtor Party, the fundraiser for the Realtor Party, a mystery dinner. So this is the first time we've ever done that. So I'm kind of excited to see how that's going to work out. Yeah. So it's April 17th, and I'm excited about that because they have been rehearsing, the committee members.
I told you.
We had been debating whether we were going to get involved with that at all, but we've just been so busy. We've been burning at both ends.
Transitioning into different roles.
It's the 80-20
I have like
rule. FOMO
when I don't participate or don't sponsor or something.
Yeah.
And this is the first thing I think we haven't gotten involved in a while.
Yeah. It's the 80-20 rule, you got to show up. You should only show up to 80. Like, you just don't stretch yourself too thin. That's what I've that's my learning lesson of what I'm going through right now, is because you can't burn it at both ends. You're going to burn yourself out. So and you can't pour from an empty cup.
No, absolutely.
So
I
love that saying.
I know.
A lot
of analogies.
I know.
Put me in front of your mentors.
Right? It's where I live.
Can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
I dig that.
I like it. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk RPAC?
Yeah,
what does RPAC stand for?
The Realtor Political Action Committee.
That's right.
Yep. So it's nonpartisan. So it's not the Republican Committee. It's not the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. It is solely just about protecting private property rights, reaching across the aisle and making sure that we're doing the best interest that we can in home ownership and entrepreneurial spirit. So business ownership as well. And it's an amazing PAC. It's one of the largest PACs in the United States, honestly, and in the state of Florida.
Wow.
So they have some pretty good stuff. So one of the biggest things, and it's always a hot issue, especially for our neighbors and beachside communities and stuff like that, is short-term rentals, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we have to feel for our members out there. So we could probably be a little bit more stronger, but also knowing that our members are boisterous in their communities, and we appreciate that, right? But at the end of the day, it comes down to, do you want the government telling you what you can do with your property?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to curtail. Doesn't get into social issues. We avoid social issues. It's solely about the protecting the private property rights.
Got you. So you have a lot of people in the community that don't want short-term rentals, and then you probably have a lot of people that do.
Yeah. So it's fine. It's striking the balance, right? Striking the balance of, like, don't be egregious with your restrictions and things like that.
And a lot of that's decided at the city level, right?
Correct. Yeah. So there's home rule.
Yeah.
And then just so a lot of that is going back to making friends in government. So a lot of that is getting to know, that's why we're out in the community so much. Peggy, our government affairs director, you'll see her out quite often, is city council meetings, county commission meetings, and just getting to know the elected officials, letting them know we're here. What can we do to help reach across the line to make these initiatives robust for the communities, protect the integrity of the community and the fabric of the community. Cocoa Beach is like near and dear to my heart. And I feel for them because their short-term rentals are, I guess, in their area,
I heard it's a madhouse
little crazy, little unhinged, and finding the right balance for restriction. And at the end of the day, code enforcement needs to do their job, and people need to report, and that's what they need to do. too. And they're doing the things, I think they're starting to do things the right way. And that's good.
Yeah.
So, but you got to feel for those people who have to not suffer, but like live next to those neighbors that are having the party houses and doing those things. But at the end of the day, what's the difference between 30 days and 31 days, right? So short-term rentals, 30 days and under, 31 plus is generally considered a regular rental. You could have a bad neighbor for a year versus a couple days renting a house, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no,
That is
true.
a tough topic.
Yeah. So that one's tough. That one's tough.
But I do like the overall concept of just get the government out of making those decisions.
One of the biggest wins for RPAC, and I think this was important for every business, including yours, was the elimination of business rent tax. So as a business, I don't know if people realize that you had to pay rent tax like on a lease if you didn't own your building. So they finally eliminated that last year. So that was an amazing feat that we kept chipping away at every year. We went to Tallahassee. We were like, get this off the books.
That was you guys, huh?
Yeah, that was the Realtor Pack.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife works for a small business, and the owner was praising whenever that went away. You know,
we were the only state, I believe at that point, we were the only state who had a business rent tax. So obviously we flourish in independent business, right? As the state of Florida, people were coming in droves, but that was one extra win that we could tout and say, this is great. This is a great thing. And then they were still able to pass a budget the way they needed to. And then
incredible.
the Hometown Heroes program.
It's such an egregious tax, too.
Yeah.
So
It was, honestly,
it's so great
right.
you guys got rid of that.
Right. So.
Are you guys hearing anything about the property tax possibly being lowered, or the ad valorem going away?
Yeah, I have to be honest. Session ended.
It didn't go. It didn't go.
And they called a special session for the budget, which we anticipated. They may call back another special session to relook at that. I know Governor DeSantis is really passionate about that. Whether he tries to get that done within his tenure here, because he's out at the end of his term ends at the end of this year, I believe. So
November,
yeah. So I know he's very passionate about it. So I would anticipate.
I would think
session.
they would have to get it done before he's out.
Yeah.
Because he seems to be the only one carrying that torch.
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, our representative Monique Miller down in the southern part of our county, she proposed a bill with the language, and they have to have matching bills in order for it to be heard and passed, I believe is what it is. So like if the representatives pass the bill, the Senate has to have the companion, and all the language has to jive in order for it to move forward. So that's no easy feat, and that's what they face. And they face
and there's a lot of challenges with that.
Yeah.
I mean, because now you're taking a lot of tax dollar from the local communities, and so they're going to have to make it up somehow.
Yeah, I'd venture to say if you look at sales tax, that's probably where it's going to
Yeah.
be. Or
I
something.
mean, that's
They're
what-
going to get
it makes
creative.
sense.
Yeah.
They're going to get creative. But at the end of the day, right, like a budget's a budget. So do we just increase the budgets, increase fees, or do we look at where we're spending?
Correct.
Right?
It's all about spending.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And it's tight. You got to feel for them. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good stuff.
How many realtors are in Brevard County?
Yeah, right now I think we're pushing around 4,800. Yeah, that's the realtor members. We were
In Brevard?
Yeah, we were at about 5,000. Small decrease.
Good.
National saw decrease. State saw decrease. We're anticipating it. We're facing a lot of retirement right now. We just finished dues billing, so we're right around the number we anticipated with that. And then we also about 4,800. We also have another 1,200 real members, participant subscribers that purchase our MLS service. So we call them MLS only members. So they probably hold they hold their realtor membership, say, in another realtor organization outside of Brevard County, and then they purchase the MLS service from us.
Gotcha.
So it's another 1,200 that we service. And then we have about 375, 400 business partners. So all in all, we're servicing about 6,000 members.
Goodness gracious.
The team does an amazing job. Yeah.
How big is the team at SCAR?
So I think we're at about 13 right now. 13 to 14 is normally what we carry. So yeah. Yeah,
That's a lot of members for 13 people.
It is.
Yeah.
We run lean. But it's like the MO of, at the end of the day, I don't know if people realize this, we're a not-for-profit, so we're a 501c6. So we're not there. We're there for the members, right? And it's just organized just like a chamber and anything like that. So we're there for the members as full source. So
It's awesome.
You have that many members, but one of the things I think about is it kind of like that 80-20 rule where like 20% do 80% of the business or something like that?
So I'd
You know
say
what I mean?
about 10% of the members volunteer. So whether that's committee work or some kind of thing. And then I'd say about 20%, like that, And then, but it's crazy, right? Because you have 4,900 people, but how many people are actually doing the business?
Correct.
I don't know if I want to say it that way, but you know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So,
No, I feel like there's a lot of people that maybe have the license to sell a house, a couple houses
do like
a year.
One, right. But I even when I was doing education, one of the biggest things I tell people is do not ever let your license go. Like you poured all that work into it. No matter what you do, always pay your licensing fees and always keep up with your continuing education.
Yeah.
So we'll always see members at some point in time come through the education department, right? Renewing their license, doing the GRI program, doing these things just to keep up with their post-licensing and their continuing ed.
Yeah. Do you think real estate, as it continues to move forward, with technology and just there's a lot of things kind of attacking the real estate community, whether it's like tech companies like a Zillow or whoever else is out there. Is there a fear within like the realtor associations of like Zillow and some of that and the way that they're advertising, houses and stuff?
So I'm going to preface this just because I live in antitrust world. So Zillow is a member. So like all of our members, we treat the same. But so I call them national portals at this point in time, right?
Okay.
Even though they're members, they receive the same IDX feed. So the same syndication as a normal member, as an everyday member, every member has. The portals are always noisy, right? There's always disruption in the industry. There's disruption right now. There was disruption in 2013 with the old models of what the portals were doing. It's a bit noisier right now than it has been year over year outside of the settlement stuff. But I think our members and our industry is very resilient, and I think they pivot, and we just want to do, at the end of the day, the best thing for our members, the realtors, and what's their job is to secure the American dream of homeownership, right? So all that we can do is just make sure that they have the right tools, products, and services to ensure that that transaction happens and that they're there at the table, making sure that happens, that the realtor remains in the transaction. I think no matter what, the noise is the noise, but at the end of the day, even those tech companies or anything like that still think that the realtor is very important in the transaction. I don't know in our lifetime if we'll see the realtor go out of the transaction.
No, I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
No.
I think people still want to work with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there is probably across the industry, like there has been in recent years an attack kind of on commissions.
Yes. The structures.
And the structures. And then the way that with technology growth, I feel like there's just so many ways to advertise your house now, right?
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But having, like a buyer's always going to need some representation.
Correct. If a buyer goes it alone, could you imagine, just like we talked about earlier, if we go it alone, you're on an island. How do you know? It's the biggest financial purchase of your life, right?
Yeah.
And you need a professional to make that happen. And I'd say one step further, you need a realtor to make that happen. They abide by the code of ethics. They have certain standards, and they have access to the tools that you need to make that transaction happen.
You think a realtor is equally as important on the selling side, too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to list your house, do it the right way, advice on how to list it.
Yeah.
What it
I
should
mean,
look
there's
like.
always those nuanced cases for, in government, and especially in Florida, we allow every business model to flourish, right? That's their right. There was just an article the other day about how somebody was listing their house with ChatGPT. They went through all the instructions, like through OpenAI, and was like, help me list this house. Now, don't get me wrong. ChatGPT did say, contact your realtor or whatever, get it listed in the multiple listing service. The local marketplace is going to give you the best exposure. So at the end of the day, I think he listed it on his own and left money on the table, because had the comparable analysis been done and all of those things, probably would have made more money.
Yeah.
At the end.
Sure.
Yeah, but there's like the nuanced case of saying, right, those, what is it? I think Open Door, one of those companies where it was just like you just kind of flat fee buy because you need to get out of your house right away, you're moving or something like that. There's always a nuanced case for any business model.
Yeah.
And they should have the right to flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
everybody has a way that they need to sell their house, whether it's right now, whether they wait, but
Oh, I'm glad ChatGPT was on your side.
Right?
Really,
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, with any business, competition is good.
Yeah.
It
Right?
keeps everybody on their
Correct.
toes.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, I agree.
And we're in our industry, in your industry, probably the same collaborative competition.
Yeah.
There's space for everybody.
Yeah, competition's
Right.
great for
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't even see it as competition. There's enough meat on the bone
Yeah,
for everybody.
there's plenty of
you know?
business
Yep.
for everybody.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's get real. If we didn't have competition, we probably wouldn't be doing this podcast. We wouldn't be doing a lot of things.
Correct.
We'd be like sitting back watching all the money pour in, right?
Right.
It's like,
now, does that mean we want people to go elsewhere? No. But
Right.
competition keeps us on our
Yeah.
toes for
no,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there anything exciting about Brevard real estate SCAR wise, or just the real estate market in general that you see on the horizon?
Trying to think. Everything.
Everything? Yeah. Okay.
No,
That's a good
I
answer.
mean, I think the Fed.
I would imagine in your seat, like every day, there's just so much noise in your business constantly.
There's a lot.
No matter what year it is, what time it is. I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Like there's just always been noise in this industry.
And you know what? Honestly, the disruption looks the same. It just has a different name to it.
Yeah.
The challenges we have are the same challenges we had 10, 20 years ago. It just has a different spin to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was polling, we're really tuning into broker engagement right now and doing broker roundtables and just keeping the momentum going with our brokers, because at the end of the day, they're the business owner, right? And then the members belong, the subscribers or the agents belong to them. So we're really doubling down on broker engagement right now. So we've been having broker roundtables, and I was pulling up some ones from like 2019, 2013, and looking at the topics of what we were doing on those agendas. The questions are the same questions. What keeps you up at night? Right? And the answers are always the answers. The portals. Right?
Yeah.
What does the real estate industry look like? Commissions are always negotiable. I think the settlement was something that was like a little unsettling for people. I think it's shaking out right now, and I think honestly, I would hope to think it's doing its best interest. Maybe some people might be working with the list agent more than they have before, but I still think that in the best interest of the seller and the buyer, our members and realtors are doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean,
It's relatable.
yeah, well, like right now, one of the biggest changes and challenges for like the buyer, right, is now you have to sign an agreement with the buyer agent. Is that right?
Yeah.
Again, I know enough to be dangerous, so, and that's something different. But buyer agreements were there before,
They've
right?
always been a tool available. I want to say it was really like way back when real estate, probably early 90s, maybe even before then. I want to say in Florida they were required. In Connecticut, they're required. So some of those states that had required buyer broker agreements already in place had not an advantage, but were already used to doing it. Maybe they weren't required, but they were more common practice for the buyer's agents to be getting them, because at the end of the day, you're committing with your buyer, right? And our state of Florida, our Florida Association has done an amazing job of providing every nuance buyer agreement that our members could need. A showing agreement, which is like a one-time showing, maybe. So I was like equating it to dating, right? Like you're just going to go get a cup of coffee. Maybe we're going to go on a couple more dates. Okay, now we're going to really date, and then we're going to commit. We're going to marry. And that's the exclusive buyer representation agreement, right? You know what I'm saying? But like there's like a show. So they made sure, just like what we should be doing, is making sure that the members have every tool possible to get to the table and get to the closing. Yeah, but I think that they probably face a little bit of, wouldn't say pushback. I think if they're having those conversations with the buyers, it might make sense. But I could imagine as a buyer that seems a little crazy. Like not crazy, but like, do I need to be signing this?
Yeah.
Am I committing a lot of things right now? You know?
Yeah, you might even be unsure what you're going to buy, if you're going to buy.
Right.
And then, you're scared to make that commitment because you might be on the hook for some money, right, if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Is that being enforced, though? I mean, like if I'm a buyer and I sign something with a realtor and I change my mind or end up not buying, maybe you showed me 10 houses.
Right.
Like, is that being enforced?
I think it depends on what the agreement is and what it says. I know for us, like our rule is if it's reported that you're working with a buyer without an agreement, then we have the right to contact the buyer's agent and say, show us your agreement. An agreement has never not been produced. So I can tell you that.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah. Then, the hard part is like you're only not going to get paid one time. You're going to learn a long lesson, a tough lesson, right? Yeah. So I think they're doing what's in the best interest. And again, that goes back into that broker outreach, reaching out to our brokers, making sure that they understand the tools that are available. Because at the end of the day, they have the agents coming to them for the questions, looking to them for the support. Yeah. So leaning heavy into the broker model, I think.
Makes sense.
Yeah, into the broker load and just saying, we're here for you and what is it that you need from us?
Yeah, because the agent's only as good as what the broker teaches them.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Got it.
You are
we're only as good as you see.
Right.
So
As
same
the
thing
leader.
applies.
Yeah, so no bad habits.
Yeah, no bad habits. I have a lot of those.
You do?
I don't look at you. Yeah. You do have bad habits.
They're just processing stuff.
That's exactly what it is.
I do think the NAR settlement created just an insane amount of commotion.
It did. It would create a ton of noise.
And there was so much confusion around it. And I still think there's a lot of confusion.
There is.
I think from the consumer standpoint, the consumer doesn't really understand it.
I think that's probably where the mass confusion is, right? I think the members are have gotten it. I think the consumers are a bit confused. I think especially if they're moving from a different area. If they're working with a real estate professional versus a realtor. So that's a little bit different for them, right? Because they're not required to have these forms. So you almost want to just say, like, make the form required at the state level so that everybody's on the same playing field.
Exactly.
But again, Florida is very much into letting business flourish and not putting restrictions, which I also believe in. So just I think those conversations, having those fluid conversations with the buyers and their sellers with the listing agreement, there's multiple different ways now, but I'm still going to lean into, I think Florida was doing it right. Our contracts, our listing agreements spelled out exactly what the list agent was doing, what was being paid at the table on both sides. So I think we, in that manner, were doing it right. But when you look at what took place, it was national. It was a national lawsuit, and it stemmed in, I think it was Missouri. So like maybe they had different forms that didn't look the same as ours.
Got it.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
No, but I think at the end of the day, everybody just is trying to do right by the consumer, right, and trying to protect their interests and
Hopefully,
and protect the realtor, right? It's a two-way street.
And protect themselves, because I said it many times during the settlement era. Was when we were going through it, is at the end of the day, as a professional, you deserve to be paid. That's the buy side and the sell side. You don't do it. Nobody works for free.
Nobody works for free,
right?
Yeah.
No,
they deserve to be paid, and it'd be paid appropriately towards their work.
Sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. One of the issues that we've been talking about on the podcast recently with some realtors and everything is affordability.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? And like, it's a challenge. If you're a first-time homebuyer right now, or if you're a young person looking to buy a house,
it is quite the challenge. So I was just looking at the pricing, and for February, a closeout, I want to say it moved down just a tick, but year over year, the median price is now $370 in Brevard County.
Is it?
Yeah, it was $378, I think it was in the 2020. What are we? 25. February 25. So we always do year over year comparison for the months. That's pretty high. That's pretty steep, and when wages are not what comparable to that. So I think we're facing inflation. Obviously, we're a little insulated this go around, right? Remember the 2008, 2009, 2010 days where the market was not great, right? Foreclosures were high. Everybody could buy a house, but for us, and if you recall, like, we couldn't find a job.
Yeah.
Right. My first house was a short sale.
Mine was a short sale too.
Really good deal. The government got creative and put those. Was it the tax credits? Remember, you were getting like $7,500 back or whatever. That was a tax credit. You wasn't. So I think you had to stay in your house for 3 years or something like that. But so I think there's some creativity. Right. But you have the what kind of equity you have in your house.
No, yeah, for sure.
So that's right. That's the best part about home ownership is you're building generational wealth, generational equity.
Oh gosh,
Absolutely.
It's gonna help get my child to college.
Don't understand that. Even you say the words, they don't know.
But also that has changed, right? So like for us, we were buying houses, we were buying short sales. We knew they needed work. I think the expectation now is you're getting your dream home off the rip, and that's not the case, right? Like everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. So get the starter home. I would love to see our local municipalities redo zoning to allow, but I get it because like not in my backyard, right? But not that NIMBY attitude, but like put the 3 1s in, put the 3 1.5s with a carport in. I think it's minimum like 3 2 with a 2-car or 1-car garage. So like back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, you look at these older houses in Merritt Island, in Melbourne, and things like
the old 50s,
concrete
60s,
block,
they were like rectangles with a Jack and Jill bathroom, 2 bedrooms, and a kitchen.
And a carport, right. Affordable. That's an affordable build.
Yeah.
It's, building is not affordable right now. And then think about a process that has to go through it. So what can we do? You see a lot of apartments coming up. I think that's going to curtail a lot of the rental market and probably lower that a little bit. And just, supply and demand at the end of the day. So we're what I was saying is like we're a little bit more insulated this go around because we still have tons of jobs coming in. Every day you get the EDCs announcing 200 jobs here, 1,000 jobs here, what have you. So tech is here, and they're in-person jobs, right? They're not remote jobs. We need manufacturers. We need the technicians out at the Space Center. We have the DOD, the Department of Defense jobs with Northrop and with L3 Harris, and they have to be here to do those jobs. So that's housing, right? So I think our housing market is still going to be a little bit more more on the upper side of the scale than it would be on the lower side. It's leveling out. We're at, I think, 3.9 months of inventory, maybe 4 months. So a healthy market, right? An even market is 6 months of inventory.
Yeah, this market has been crazy resilient.
Yeah.
Like I really thought a couple years ago, like we were getting ready to,
Just
come
drop
into.
by.
Yeah, you hear the noise, right? And it's a little scary
yeah.
coming from the days of like what we call the Great Recession, and you saw houses, right?
Correct.
in
Living
Brevard.
through that, you were kind of like, man, it feels a little bit like that.
It makes you scary
know?
wanting to pull the trigger on a house
Yeah.
when you see the market, like the pricing, and you're like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, but the economy's just been so resilient here.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think it is the Space Center, all our tech jobs that are here.
Yeah. But you got to
DeSantis
balance.
has just done a great
He's
job.
done- we were talking
He's so
last night
business
at one of
friendly.
the events we were at was COVID, right? And like we did the right. Was it scary? Yeah, but did we do the right thing for the state? I think we did. We flourished during that time, and we just kept the momentum going and going and
Yeah.
going. So
That was a wild time.
That was
right,
a wild time.
unhinged. You talk about
Like,
unhinged.
everybody was winning.
It was
Yeah,
wild.
everybody was winning. It was a
Picture just
win-win-win.
popped up on my Facebook of me sitting there with Stella. She's like, 2 months old,
Right.
3, 4 months old. I was remoting into the computer here because we had towers.
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah.
have laptops.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was using like
VPN,
Google
right?
Remote
Yeah.
Desktop because I didn't bring my computer home because it just worked for me.
Right.
We were working from home. That was for months or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then I thought housing would go away.
Yeah.
It did not. If anything, we got busier.
Yep.
No, we were busier during that time.
Yeah.
I remember one time somebody
And
reached,
what people didn't think about at that time was people were sitting in their house all day and going like, I hate this freaking house. Let me.
yeah, exactly. Looky-loos on the internet, like, what do
What the
I
hell are
do?
we doing here? I don't wanna
Hopefully
spend my
they were
time
going
here.
to
If we're gonna be stuck in the
spacecostmls.com
house,
searching.
if we're gonna be
right?
stuck in the house, we need something better.
Yeah.
And so
I never thought of that.
that's
Yeah,
really what
they
drove
were.
it.
They were.
I
you know?
was in part of BNI, and
Well,
like,
and
that
people were
was one of
moving out of
the
the cities.
realtors we're talking about.
Yeah. And, we felt for our members because they still needed engagement. They needed people to lean to. They needed to talk and not be in a silo
Yeah.
because that was a scary time if you were alone, right? But I remember somebody came in one day, probably a couple years ago, and they were like, man, during COVID, you guys must have been so dead. I said, really? I said, were you guys busy? They're like, yeah. And I said, well, if you're busy, we're busy. Right? Like we're still providing services. We pivoted. We put a lockbox on the door. We opened up our lobby for members to come pick up store sales
that's cool.
and do whatever they needed to do to still keep their
great.
business to flourish. Like those are
Yeah.
the innovative things that our members at the table really think about.
Yeah, I mean that year, 2020, was one of our better years.
Yeah.
And it's because
21, great year in
you
real
just
estate.
had so many
22.
people moving from other states
Yeah.
here, because we were more
Flourished.
open.
We were open.
And I mean,
Yeah.
we really, honestly, we were kind of, I think, showing the right way to do it.
Yeah, I do. I
You know?
agree. Especially looking back at it, right? And seeing how our economy has flourished and others are still going through it. I think it's California is still trying to get people out of houses who haven't paid, right? Because they had that eviction moratorium on there.
Yeah.
So that
Still blows my
talk
mind.
about the PAC. They were essential. Using the word essential, they were key in making sure real estate was an essential service during that time. Margie Grant, the CEO of Florida Realtors, and I think it was Barry Grooms was the president at the time, were having conversations with the governor, having conversations with the Department of Health, and making sure that our members were still able to go out and do business and do it the right way and safe way.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, is all the SCAR people, you guys are no remote, or is it any? Do you guys?
No,
do
we
any
are
remote?
we are fully in office.
Fully
At the
in
end of the day, if you really look at what we do, we service members. So we think it's like a customer service, like a storefront kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Our members have to be able to come in and talk to who they need to talk to.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
yeah, we'll have a nuanced case every once in a while, and I fully believe that family comes first. So if somebody's going through something or anything like that,
Yeah.
we'll make sure that they have the time needed to do what they need to do, and
Yeah,
then back
yeah.
to business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so for here, we've always been in an office place.
Yeah.
During COVID, we were out for I think 2 months.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
some
was-
people couldn't handle
I
it.
think we
They
were
were still
I
coming
couldn't
in.
either. I was like, I think it was 2 weeks.
2
we were-
weeks.
Yeah.
I was right.
Like that mandatory time that they were like stay at home, shelter in place kind of thing. and
I've
then
always just believed in us being together in office.
camaraderie
It creates a better culture and camaraderie.
and
Like
communication.
communication's
Yeah.
so much easier.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just yell over the wall and get our answer immediately.
Jason's like, you can call me.
I know. Yeah, I know. Everybody just walks in my office. I'm like, just call me.
Right?
Well, we sit on our
easy.
butts all day.
I know, you gotta
We
get up
need
there and walk.
we need our
Hey, I'm
blood
not
flowing.
complaining. Y'all do what you need to do.
I was watching a
Need to see me?
podcast
Come
video.
see me.
No, it wasn't a podcast. It was you guys one of your videos because I was doing my research this morning. He's got a kettlebell in his office.
I do. Yeah, you saw me when I was laying
big
down.
buff guy, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'll see me. I'll be on the phone. And I have the kettlebell.
It's just
doing
for
this.
show.
Right?
Yeah.
It's for show.
Totally show.
You still doing CrossFit? You were doing that for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
been to a gym in a long time. I
Yeah.
got a pretty nice home gym in my garage.
Nice.
Yeah, we just built a gym at the
Did
house. Yeah, I actually worked out a little bit last night. I'm
Nice.
trying to get better.
I just have
like,
no
doing it
motivation
more.
to do it.
My kids are out there every night
Nice.
trying to make
Awesome.
me look bad.
That's important, though. I think that's really important to show them.
I
that.
still bench more than them, so
That's right.
you know.
You tell them. I'll show up.
I've taken a few months off.
My daughter works out every single day.
Yeah.
She still tries. I'm like, yeah, I can't.
My daughter's doing after school activities Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so it kind of makes it difficult during
Yeah.
the week. Weekends, I'm like, I ain't going out there.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's hard for me is finding a balance to do it because like I'm gone at least
is.
once a month. So it's like, and then I'm like, do I go to the hotel gym where like, 1,200 of my favorite realtor friends are there?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess,
Yeah, I think about it
that's
for like
fun.
2 hours. Like, oh, it's too late now. I don't have to go.
That's the thing. Like, I'm a late night girly, so I'm not an early riser.
Same.
Yeah.
I think for me, like I just really wanted to build something at the house because I truly think I'm going to use it way more than like if I
Yeah.
have to go to
Yeah,
a
I would
gym, check
the same.
in, bring my stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole like rigmarole, and then
Right.
you end up talking to everybody.
Right.
Don't get anything done. When I'm at the house, I just go in there for 30 minutes. I get
Pump
it
it
done.
out, right?
Get it
Yeah,
done.
and get it done.
I like that.
But also, like, I guess maybe being in the business that we're in, we're just surrounded by people all the
All day
time and
long.
talking to so many people and always constantly, I don't want to say putting the face on. That's kind of sad. I
It
mean,
is.
it's real. You know what I mean? I'm not like
Yeah.
some fake person or
No,
something.
No,
But like,
but you're
social
turned on. That's what I
engagement.
say.
yeah,
It's like,
hours,
yeah, but
yeah.
like I'm almost more of an introvert. So like, I don't really want to go to a gym and have all those
Yeah, so I
conversations.
say-
I do that all the time.
that's what I say all the time. Is like, I don't think people realize like I am actually such an introvert, but for work I have to turn it on. So
Yeah.
like I'm out. But then I'll never forget, like we go to conferences and,
And
things
sometimes
like
that stuff's exhausting
Yeah.
for me.
So like, you're at a conference, you're 13, 15 hours with members, right? And that's not bad. Like I love it, but we're talking and everything like that. I come home, I've got to recharge. I'm like, I don't want to do small talk with anybody,
I know.
because it's always like the, hey, how are you? With your everyday members, you connect and engage more. Obviously, you have the better relationships and more personable relationships. So you're having deeper conversations, which is obviously more stimulating, but like, it's exhausting.
No, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So just
It
having that
absolutely
time to
is.
recharge,
You gotta
reset, and then
decompress.
go back and do it again.
Yeah. So what are you doing for fun?
I like to enjoy the waterways. I
Alright.
like to go to the beach, go out on the boat quite a bit, do those things, and then the
I think I've
occasional
seen you at the
cocktail.
island before
I'm like
a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bird Island's always
Bird
a fun
Island.
time. Always a fun
Too
time.
crowded, gosh.
Yeah. Back in the day, it
went
was
there,
Ski
we're like,
Island,
oh
though.
my
Oh,
god,
that's
it
Ski
was
Island.
Ski
Ski
Island.
Island
Ski
got
Island
blown
was-
away.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's
That
done.
is
So Bird
funny.
Island's
Back when we were young, it was
Yeah.
Ski Island.
Ski Island.
Right there by the bar, by the
the
locks.
locks,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it was the place.
It
There
was.
was tons of boats wrapped around
Right.
there. Now 1 or 2 storms blew through it. Literally just blew
Nothing,
away.
yeah.
It's like a tree.
Yeah, it literally blew all
Yeah.
the sand away.
Memorial Weekend. You do have like 3 lines of boats all tied
Yeah,
up and everything.
yeah.
I remember when I was a
Fun
kid, we had a party on Ski Island, and I ended up leaving. But that night, like all our friends had to get rescued by the Coast Guard.
Oh,
They were all
really?
like stranded on the island.
Stop.
Why did
You're
you
like,
get rescued?
"Peace
Just
out,
sleep in
bye."
the sand.
I don't know.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Ski Island.
But I remember that being on the
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Everybody getting
But
on
Bird Island's a fun time. That's like, wait, how blessed are we to live in this amazing community? We have so much to do.
We really do. And
Right?
It feels like such a small town.
Yeah.
But it's not. And
It's
Brevard
not.
County is
Right.
humongous.
It is huge.
Well, you just get that small town between, Cocoa Beach, kind of
Yeah.
Melbourne, Suntree, even Titusville, Cocoa,
Yeah.
Port St. John, Rockledge, like all that.
There's
just
always
kind of
something
feels,
to do.
Always.
Yeah, but everybody kind of knows everything.
Yeah. That's
You know,
still
it's
that
really
small
weird.
Does that bother
town.
you?
No, I love that.
Yeah.
No, I
do
100%
too.
agree. Like growing up here, it was a much smaller community when I was growing up.
Right.
But even over the years, like it's just I don't know, like especially in Merritt Island.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
Me too.
I
Merritt
don't know
Island's
if it's
very
because you're on an island or
Right.
what it is, but like that community does stay pretty connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even if you grew up there and you went to high school there and all that, like there's something special about
Yeah.
it being an island. Like people don't really love going over the bridge
Right.
or
Oh
whatever.
my God.
It's
Cocoa
like-
Beach. just talking about
Beach is
this
the same
yesterday.
thing, though. Like,
Cocoa
right?
Beach is
Yeah,
huge.
and
Cocoa
satellite,
Beach is
yeah.
worse.
I did high school in Cocoa Beach.
Well-
and it was like, we're not crossing the bridge.
Well, now
yeah.
I'm like in Rockledge. I'm like, I'm not crossing the bridge to
Right.
go over there.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to go
Sorry,
there first.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come to me.
Yeah, exactly.
But this county is growing fast.
It is.
Like I don't know what
It's
the numbers are,
catapulting.
but I just know driving around, it is
I want to say it was
unbelievable.
like 630, 660,000
Thousand,
residents. Yeah.
It's growing really fast. Just getting around town is a lot harder than it's ever
So
been.
it's making sure that we're growing the county in the right way infrastructurally,
I
right?
was
Like
just
smart,
about to go
smart
there,
growth.
like,
Make
you
sure
know.
we're doing it the right way and smart and still protecting our waterways, our environment, and I think our local elected officials, both local, state, and federally, I think they're very passionate about that, making sure that our community still has the right to flourish and still have the St. John's Waterway, we have the Indian River Lagoon, and we have the beaches, and just
Because I always say, like, for years, I think we were like the best kept secret.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we're still, to this day, like you think the affordability, right?
Yeah, I know.
Price 3.7. We're still one of the most affordable beach towns.
Which blows me away
Right.
because this place is pretty amazing.
Right.
You know, when you
Don't
go
let our
travel
secret out.
around.
Don't put this out too
I know.
hard. Like,
No, seriously. I mean, you go to like South Florida
Yeah.
and you see the congestion and all that.
Yeah.
And then you even like north of us, you start getting up into that Jax area.
Yeah.
It's like we're right in the middle and it's almost like we were forgotten or something.
yeah, like yeah.
But I always say we're like the best kept secret,
yeah.
but the
100%.
secret's getting out
It is
for
getting
sure.
out, yeah.
Because especially now with the Space Center just being absolutely.
Well, and then
I live
like
in
the
North Merritt
launches,
Island, so-
right? So talk about the launch days.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of these shuttle days when everybody used to come in. I remember being in Cocoa Beach growing up and like everybody come in to watch the shuttle launches and there'd be like tourists everywhere. You'd hit the hotel pools and stuff like that and there'd just be like people left and right.
I was like 30 minutes late picking up my son the other day
Yeah.
because I.
Did you catch
Is
barge traffic?
that his excuse?
The traffic
The
up there,
going
people
south.
leaving work. It was
Yeah.
after the launch, and everybody leaving work
Oh yeah.
was just it gets bottlenecked there
Yeah.
at that bridge. They've been trying to figure that out for
There's,
years.
They're not gonna.
there's nothing they can do.
I'm like, they're not gonna. Kyle wants to buy in North Merritt Island. I'm like, no way, man. I can't
know.
do
Yeah,
that.
if you
No.
have anywhere to go south between 4:45, 4:30,
Yeah.
and 6:30, good luck.
Yeah.
We had somebody back out of a deal house in our neighborhood, which is right near him,
Just because of that?
because they were
Oh, are
leaving.
you in North Merritt Island now?
Yeah, I'm in
Okay.
Egrets Landing.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were leaving the like a walkthrough.
Yeah.
not final, but one of the walkthroughs. And they just happened to do it at the end of the day.
Right.
They left the
Space Center
walkthrough,
traffic.
saw the traffic, they pulled the contract.
Phew.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like an $800,000 purchase. They
Yeah.
were buying it cash.
Yeah.
I would
And
be
the
that
people
person,
selling,
too.
they
I
were
can't-
like panicking because they had already under contract with the new house. Yeah.
We camp out at Cars Park for Easter weekend, so we go out there,
cool.
right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like
It's
pretty
beautiful
hot,
out
but
there.
like when you forget something, that sucks. Like you guys need a Target. Like I mean, I know Target's there, but
Just text me. I'll come down and bring it in
Right?
the golf cart.
yeah,
During COVID, when we had the camper, we used to stay at Cars Park all
Yeah.
the time. So
Yeah.
you can get the spot right on the river, like $20 a night
yeah,
or something.
that's the best. That's the
crazy.
best kept secret,
Not anymore.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
But well, you gotta know somebody there, right?
Right.
You either gotta work at the
there,
Space Center
some kind of badge or something like that. Yeah.
I had a family badge, or I don't know what they call it. Like if you have a family member there, they can
Yeah.
get you a badge for like $100 or something.
Yeah, I think a pass or something.
Yeah.
Really cool area though.
Yeah.
Again, such a cool. Like we have such.
We're
cool
surrounded
things.
by water. Great restaurants.
Right.
I mean, really, it's a pretty awesome place.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think that's why a lot of people stay.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like grew
Or
up
come
here
back.
and leave or
Yeah.
come back.
That's what
you know?
we were talking right before this, and I said Linda Weatherman with the EDC, when they were doing that study for the launching Florida Space Coast branding, they were doing a study and they talked about the boomerang community and how many of our constituents and people who live here, residents that lived here, did education somewhere else and then came back because they wanted to raise their families here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And now we're having the jobs to help support that. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah,
getting these tech
absolutely.
jobs where people really can flourish. So
No, I love to see it.
yeah.
I'm a person like I love progress. I love the growth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like, especially up in North Merritt Island, that are like, "Don't build here, don't
Right.
do that." They're fighting it all the time, and honestly, I like it.
I
I'm
think
like,
if they do
"Let's
it the
go,"
right way, what's
you know?
wrong, right?
Yeah.
If they
Yeah.
do it the right way, what's wrong with it?
I don't mind a little traffic.
Yeah.
Like, of course, in the moment, sometimes it gets
Yeah,
a little
frustrating.
frustrating just because, like, oh my
Right.
gosh, it's taking forever. But in the grand scheme of things, what's an extra 20 minutes?
Right.
No, I just don't
First
like
world problem.
the
Yeah, we need
erratic
some-
drivers.
We
yeah.
need some better
That's what's
infrastructure.
crazy.
There's some flood issues in our
Yeah.
area, but no, I'm all for the growth.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep bringing it.
Yeah.
Keep bringing it.
You know,
I don't think it's going to slow down.
no.
No.
We can ensure them. Keep building.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's been great.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Thanks
Anything
for
you want
having
to
me.
touch on? Anything else?
I don't know.
No, you good? She's like, get me out of here.
No.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
This has been fun.
You did great. We're like,
No, I really
we're
appreciate
like
you
astronauts
coming
with our
in.
headphones
I
on.
know.
Oh, tonight's a big deal.
Yeah,
by
they're
the
supposed
way.
to come back.
7:50
I saw it,
PM.
yeah.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah.
Do you think
Hopefully.
people are going to
the-
be out there? Like, Watching.
No,
No,
it's in
they're going to San Diego, right?
San
Off the
Diego.
coast over there, yeah.
Okay.
No, I was watching the news this morning.
Yeah.
I was watching something how they're going to like skip, so they're going to come into the atmosphere and then bounce back out
yeah.
and then come back into
It's like a blackout type
right
of
to reduce the the G-force, the gravity. or
So
something?
they were coming in too shallow before, and because of how fast they're coming in, 25,000 miles
Right.
an hour, what it does, something with the atmosphere, it's like some plasma, it ionizes and it creates a heat that's more, it's more hot than the sun.
Phew.
And because it was burning for so long, it was messing with the tiles. So they're going to have to come straight down. Or no, the old one, they were coming slower.
Right.
So now they have to come
Straight.
faster. It's 25,000 miles
What is that
an
even
hour.
equatable to? Like, could you imagine?
So
G-force, is that what it's called? Like
yeah.
it's like 3 times their body weight or 4 times their body weight.
they have to come from 25,000 miles an
Wonder what
hour
their
to 17
brain
miles an
feels
hour
like.
in 3 minutes. I mean, the science behind it blows my mind.
Yeah, and that's
So hopefully their science for the landing
Right.
is right, or else
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
not a catastrophe happens.
And like living here on the Space
Right.
Coast, it's so important that these things go well.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like from just like for our community,
Yeah.
you know, it's honestly like it literally supports our community.
It does.
We had 400,000 visitors
Yeah.
for the launch.
Isn't that wild?
Insane. I
Yeah.
miss those
It's
days.
I know.
Like I got
It was
emotional
like-
when the rocket went
I did
up
too.
because
Actually, I watched it
miss
at
those
Pineda.
days.
I watched it at Pineda Inn.
We-
And I was out there and everybody was on the dock and I was like, oh my God. And I just like shed a tear and I was
Yeah.
like, this is humanity. Like we do really cool things in our
in
area.
our little town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really big
Yeah.
things. Small town with big ideas and big dreams.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
super
yeah.
awesome.
where your dreams
Yeah,
are.
no, it was super
Right.
cool to like.
I love
love-
leading into launch
yeah.
funds.
me and Diana and our youngest Callan, we actually went down the road. We left our house. We're
Yeah.
pretty close to the Space Center
Yeah.
where our house is, but we went down to the entrance of the Space Center and they had it all blocked off.
Yeah.
You couldn't go too far, but there was cars lining the side. Everybody's standing on top of their cars. Like it was super cool. It
Yeah.
felt like old space.
That's what I'm saying. Like the old shuttle days. It's like
Did you see the
Yeah.
Titusville Bridge?
Yeah.
Holy,
Oh,
they shut that thing
it down.
down.
Yeah, there were some cool photos
Holy
off that too.
cow.
But yeah, we're in the second space race and they're doing cool things.
The coolest video I saw was people that were in the airplanes. There was like
Yeah.
commercial flights that were
Oh, I
going
know. I
by,
saw that.
Yeah.
Yep.
taking off
What
from
an
Orlando.
amazing experience.
And the
Like
pilots
how
were
lucky
mentioning
were
it.
you to take off at
Imagine
that
having
time?
a window seat for that.
I know, it was incredible. Some of the
That's so
videos
cool.
that came out of that were absolutely incredible.
Middle
really
seat people
cool.
be crawling over.
Heck yeah, I would
I
be
need
one
to
of
see,
those.
right?
If you didn't know what that, like if you weren't
Right.
from here and
Ooh.
you were like, is that a freaking missile?
Yeah. Is
what
that
the
coming
heck's
at us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Blue Origin's they're about to launch theirs, I think,
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah, that's incredible. Everything we
Yeah.
got going on here.
again,
So-
competition is good.
Yeah, it is.
Competition in space.
I love space.
Tarek likes to take drives back there. Like we'll just have one fluke Sunday and we'll just
Yeah.
take drives back there and just like, just
Take it
it's
all
so
in.
peaceful
Yeah.
too, like over there. But
Yeah.
we'll go in that area and just it's definitely a
Yeah.
blessing.
Even
for
up in the
sure.
refuge, like again,
Yeah.
little secret. Well, probably not a secret, but the refuge is awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
So untouched land.
Well, thank you, Lindsey, very much for
Yeah.
coming.
Thanks
I know
for
you're
having
very
me.
busy, and we really, really appreciate you coming in. It means a lot to us. So
I appreciate
yeah,
you guys
thank
having
you.
me.
Thanks
And
again.
thank you for doing what you do and
Yeah.
for supporting us as business partners. So
Thank
I
you guys
appreciate
for
it.
being business
When's
partner members.
when's the Children in Need Gala?
September
September.
25th.
I count the days to that. 'cause I
Yeah, we're
always
going to
love
start
that
selling
event.
tickets here soon. I think they'll
Wow.
be on sale by June 1. So.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Very cool. All right, well, let's get out of here. Appreciate it.
right.
Thank you.
Bye.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Studio 321 podcast, powered by Brightway, the Steve Trout Agency. We can't thank you enough for being part of our journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with a friend. Until next time, 3, 2, 1, we're out.